Good, we're almost there. And welcome to the Real Humans, Great Souls podcast with yours truly, Professor Johanna Sophia of Johanna's Raw Foods and Coaching and of the Rawsome Life Global online university, rawsomelifeglobal.com. I thought I was going to be really lazy today, and this show has me suddenly move about, possibly, because the title is What's a Super Happy Body? Now, why this super happy body thing? Because I invented that title as my main teaching title, my course, my class, and or also the structure of some of my private teaching. And it is the Super Happy Body class. So today I needed to give everybody who is befuddled by that title an opportunity to go to my YouTube channel and find out what that means, right? And I'm not happy with this large image. Anyway, so we can do this. So why a happy body? Why a super happy body? What is a happy body? Can a body be happy? What kind of silly questions are those? Isn't happiness a thing of the mind, or lately of endorphins or serotonin produced in the brain, and that makes us feel good? But I'm talking about a functioning body that is happy because when you jump out of bed, it does not have aches, pains, tiredness, or resistance, don't want to go somewhere. Of course, that's part of life, I suppose, a little bit, but you can do so much for this body to render it in a more complete state. So, of course, I always get back to the biology of the body. How do you make that body happier? And of course, we can define what that means, a happy body. A happy body would probably be where every part of the body is easily, fully functioning to your liking. May that be a very bulky, muscular body, or may that be a slim body, or may that be even a roundish body. But as long as it is fully functioning and feels a good home for you, feels like that proverbial temple, right? That's what I define as the happy body, where you're not overburdening any kind of parts of the body, organs or limbs or joints or brain or sensation organs, but where everything is best, at its best. And of course, the older we get, it seems the more we have to cater to this body to stay as functioning as possible, as energetic as possible, as flexible as possible, as muscular as possible. So creating that happy body is yet a whole other item. But how did I come up with this title, Super Happy Body? let me tell you the little story. A colleague of mine from our online business class, a large group of people who were studying together with Shanda Sumter, is a specialist in PR and promotional materials and finding your brand and that kind of stuff. So I went to one of her conferences, and it was about finding your branding, finding your look, your colors, etc. And I had already, of course, my branding colors for the logo of Johanna's Raw Foods, but I had not really a title for my main course, my main offering for my clients. And what am I doing? Well, I'm helping people live a fulfilled life, right? And where does that start? Well, it starts with where you're at. Oh, and then there was something else. I was feeling like showing off, I suppose, and or Jackie Cote, this colleague of mine who's the PR person, was talking about I was 65 at the time, being fit at 65, and that I do fitness with my clients. Fitness over 50 is one of my fitness programs. and she said, well, show us. And so she made me record, she had cinematographers there. She made me record doing a split at the conference. So here I am, and that little video still exists. It's out there. Johanna does the split at 65, I think I was. So I'm doing this split with my legs down there, and she says, well, it has to be something about keeping your body in shape. And then I said, well, keep your body going or fit or all kinds of things. I had also recovery, recover your body, but that all sounded too much like, well, you're already so sick. I'm judging you for being so sick and you have to recover. And that's where I came up. I just threw it out there, how about a happy body? But that's too simple. How about a super happy body? Yeah, make it super. And that clicked for her and for the others present. And that's how the title, The Super Happy Body, was created at that conference. And I've ever since run my Super Happy Body classes in various formats, as short, intensive workshops, and as year-long 12-month program. And then there's a lot involved in creating that super happy body. And then the subtitle evolved as you need it because you need a super happy body to do what you really want to do in life most effectively. So get your super happy body because you need a super happy body to do what you really want to do in life most effectively, or most what's the other word? Efficiently, or yeah, effectively is still the word. Okay. So then we get to, okay, if your body is not to your liking, if you feel that you would like a better body, and if you've been told that there's nothing you can do about it, then I come in and say, oh, yes, there's a lot you can do about it. And every body can be a lot better than it is at the moment. Mine too, even though I am showing off as a 70-year-old now, that I have a pretty functioning body. What do we need to create that? And recreate it all the time. Maintain it, of course, is a big word here too. And so in another class, workshop, course, it was a course with Lisa Sasevich, I developed then what was originally, she's the Sell from Stage person. And I wanted to develop a talk that I could give anywhere in the world, because I love being in different places and different cultures, and that was following a simple structure that could be adapted to most any culture or situation, right? And so the Super Happy Body course now follows also that same structure. And I developed the structure and called it the Evolve structure. Of course, the word evolve is very overused, so I didn't want to use that in a title. So I made little dots between the letters, but it stands for explore what you really want, verify that what you're doing works, and I'll give you what I do for each of those steps. Overcome your obstacles and transform your traumas into tools. That's another thing I developed there. Love your body as it is, because only when you love it from the moment you start working at it will it be easy to transform it, right? If you are already always complaining, you just rob yourself of the energy that you need to transform it. You need to love it to transform it. And then comes vitality achieved, because at that time we already have another level of vitality, and we need to take that vitality out into the world. And the last one is establish your own style and your own, either your own business or your own, if you want to become a coach, your own course or your own routine that you will follow in whichever manner you see fit. But you now know that you've taken everything you learned in the course and you're turning it into your own routine and approach. So I'm very tempted to go back into history and talk about how we humans have managed to completely lose this sense of what this body really needs on planet Earth, right? We have then furthermore condemned anything bodily, nudity, fitness, loving our physique, right? Seeing it, especially in the northern parts, of course, where we have to wear clothes in the winter because it's too cold, of course. But this whole imposition upon us by many religions, especially the monotheistic religions, so it's the one God, who's your boss, who keeps you under wraps all the time, literally. So we have lost the sense of being happy in our body and being responsible for the happiness of our body. And instead, we have created this thing, the sinfulness of the body. So I don't know who's joined us, but I'm not seeing who that is. Okay. So in this historical progression from being in a culture where your naturalness is a given and where you naturally have connection with nature, the rest of nature, because of course we're also part of nature, and moving into these oppressive systems, we have mistreated and misunderstood this thing that is our body, our temple, our thing that we live in when we are on planet Earth. So therewith, with this disconnect because of religious concepts and ideas of sinfulness of the body, or of it not being important to have a healthy functioning body, but rather we should wait for the day that we go into the afterlife, and there we will be having, I don't know, actually nobody ever thought about of course the bodilessness is not really ever defined, right, in our religions. We have these angel ideas in Christianity, or in Islam too, I think, and or we have this nirvana where there's like the big nothingness. So all these concepts of being without the body past the life of this planetary life on planet Earth added even more to the sense of the body is not important. Yes, I needed to be alive, but it's not. We don't need to take care of it. In fact, in some cultures, and certainly where I grew up, also, it was like frowned upon to be proud of your body, right? Or to enjoy having this body, to work at it, to make it nice, or whatever concepts we had of beauty. So I think now that we're coming out of the oppressive phase of submission to the powers of empires and religions, we are ready to take responsibility for this beautiful instrument that is the human body. And of course, that includes the brain, the biological part of our mind, our thinking, our awareness, our processing of information that comes in, sensations, emotions, everything requires the brain to allow us to experience, right? And the brain is also part of the body, and the brain also needs to be happy, or needs to be fully functioning. There needs to be clarity. Okay, so let's get to how do we create this in practical terms. Using the evolved system, we of course we enter into the creation of the healthy body, the happy body, by exploring what it is that drives us most. And that's different for every individual, because we are now at a stage of individuation of humanity, where we individually look at ourselves in the mirror. Just all of these are kind of new phenomena relative in terms of the last so many thousands of years, right? And we actually perceive that we can change or influence this body. Now, of course, in my view, we've gone a little overboard with all the cutting and tattooing and uh, Botoxing and so forth, where that in so many ways is counterproductive because it introduces all kinds of poisons and toxic materials into this body that could be fully functioning, could be a super happy body from the inside out. All right, what belongs to creating that super happy body? Of course, it starts with the vision for what I want to become, or at least the direction into which I want to move. And then it goes to what I put into it and onto it, right? And around it. And that includes, first and foremost, let's start with water. So this is water from a spring where we personally go, we being my son and his partner and or I myself and get the water that actually comes out of rock and runs through plant life and then is put into containers to take home. So it's incredibly delicious water. It provides all the minerals and all the good stuff that water should provide this body with. Because what do we need water for? We need water also to carry out toxins and old matter that the body needs to shed when we can't shed via the skin or via excrement and urine. We want to have the water help shed that, actually, of course, via those avenues that I just mentioned. Okay, next is the food. Okay, now we can talk about what is this, Johanna? This is, I call it mashed potatoes without potatoes. And it is made from, um, it is made from, in this case, I wanted something with a lot of potassium because that is really good and calming for your muscles and when you've been working out hard. And then we have avocado in here and a few pieces of, I don't know whether you can see, of garlic, chopped up garlic, and of course cilantro on top, and there's a little olive oil over it. And what's in this mashed potato is also very interesting. It has celeriac, which is the celery root, and parsnip, which is a nice sweet touch, and cauliflower and walnuts, and then a little piece of apple, a little piece of onion, and then spices are, in this case, a little mustard, paprika, Celtic sea salt, a little tamari sauce, and a touch of cayenne. So that's what this is. And I think the body also wants delicious food. So, because, I mean, we do have taste buds that are part of our body, right? And we do have a mouth and a tongue and a swallowing mechanism. And all of it can either be kind of blah, or it can be painful even, or it can be joyful. It can be happy. It can be exuberantly happy. And this kind of food is, of course, exuberantly happy because it is all full of live energy. Now, of course, I know you know this, that every single ingredient in here is organic and raw. It is fresh from plants. And why that? So, and of course, I also have a talk that is called Easy Fun Raw. So as you can see, I'm always about the joyfulness of things, right? Why raw? Well, it's really very, very simple. All of life on this planet feeds on other live entities. Even the plants absorb living waters and minerals from the ground, right? And oxygen, including all kinds of tiny little critters, bacteria and microbes that are in the air through the leaves and the stem, etc. And all of life, therefore, feeds on other life forms, on other live entities, and not just the carnivores eat, of course, their prey raw. I like telling silly stories. The last time I saw a baboon when I was in Namibia, his grill had broken and so forth. And he came to the supermarket and got another little grill because he needed to grill his lizards. Of course, baboons don't eat lizards, really. They eat plants. Um, I want to describe this thing that our body, of course, is part of nature, and this life form is not that different from plants and animals and insects and all the living things. That's pretty much what it is, right? On this planet. Because it also requires living entities as nourishment, because you need the vitamins and the phytonutrients and the minerals again, and the fatty acids, especially the essential fatty acids. So there's the oiliness, and here we have avocado and a little olive oil, and we have the greens that provide incredible amounts of photons, and the cauliflower in there provides cruciferous greens, if you will, although cauliflower isn't green, but it has the cruciferous element, again, incredibly good um, protein rich plants are all the cruciferous plants that provide us with incredible healing power and nourishment. What else can we say about what's in here? Then there's a little bit of apple, a little touch of sweet, a little bit of orange juice actually is also in here. And then we have the onion and the nuts for the essential fatty acids again. Nuts and sunflower seeds and flax seeds, and chia seeds also, are known for their high amounts of omega-3s, and we need all of those elements for healthy cell reproduction. Now, reproduction is not like having a baby that you can't just decide, okay, I had one, that's enough for the rest of my life, or two, right? Now I'm going to stop the reproduction and I'm just going to live without reproduction. Cell life needs to reproduce all the time, or you are dead. Now, if you produce not enough healthy cells, you are not dead, but you're kind of not really in a super happy body. You are really in an ailing and always vulnerable to failure body. And when the body fails to reproduce itself properly, we call that dis-ease or illness, right? But of course, I don't just eat savory stuff. I also eat incredibly lush, delicious chocolate. This is a chocolate mousse. You see, and it's very thick and awesomely creamy. And what is this made of? Sugar and cacao and whatever they put into. I don't even know what's in traditional chocolate mousse. I think the original French recipes would use whipped eggs and stuff like that. Um, but this is actually made out of fresh fruit, dried fruit, nuts, coconut oil, and raw cacao. So the sweetness comes from raisins and dates in this case, but they could also be dried apricots, dried prunes. I was just trying to get some prunes, but they had doubled in price. So I was like, nah, um, wait until next week, maybe. So, and you whip this all up in a strong blender. And I'm just going to have a little here. It's so tempting. It is so luscious. And of course, the nuts, again, provide the essential fatty acids and proteins, and everything has protein. Every life on planet Earth has protein because the amino acids are basic building blocks of all life forms, right? So when we talk about we need to eat some protein and that's a dead animal, we are very, very mistaken that that's the best protein. Protein is in all of life on planet Earth. And for us, the proteins in plant life are actually much easier to digest. And of course, I could talk about that. I talk about it so often in almost all my podcasts, that topic comes up. But yeah, so this doesn't just create a happy muscle tissue because, of course, the cacao has a lot of magnesium and iron and calcium, potassium, all of those good things. But there's also a lot of vitamin C in here because there are berries in here. I think this one has a whole bag of mixed berries in it. Of course, there's more than just one cup, one elegant glass, right? One dessert glass. And the berries, of course, are really high in antioxidants and vitamins, etc. So we provide the body with the nutrients that allows it to have a healthy cell reproduction, and therefore it will feel happy. When you get up in the morning and you like stretch and you like, oh, it's awesome to be alive. Then that means to me your body is happy, your mind is happy. And of course, we now know that this kind of food also produces immediately endorphins, and those are the so-called happy hormones. Whereas serotonin is the calm and even-keeled hormonal element, all of which we need. So yeah, so the first thing is food. And then of course, I don't just eat these ready-made things, but there's salads and there's so much. For Thanksgiving, I'm making a raw pizza, and it's beautiful and lush and full of different flavors and stuff. So food. Number one, a goal in life. I also have this goals class, but the super happy body is still the centerpiece. We need goals. We need to have something to live for, to strive for, right? We need to have a functioning biological system via food intake, water and food. Now, to that biological system, of course, also belongs we need to have adequate rest and we need to have adequate exercise. And I said I was going to show you a little bit of my exercise routine. Yeah, I think we can still do that. And then, of course, um, we have to work if we want to really have a happy body. We have to work with traumas. Um, it has been such a revelation to me when I came across, or such a great definition of where pain comes from, when I came across Dr. Sarno's book, Healing Back Pain, I think is his first book, and then the big book of one of his students and um, patients and students. And that book is titled The Great Pain Deception. So the findings are by these doctors that emotional trauma, sometimes even subconsciously experienced trauma, can lodge itself in the body. Now, this sounds really hoaxy, but these are medical doctors who came to these findings, and produce long-term back pain, knee pain, those kind of things that people suffer, headaches, migraines. So any kind of pain that isn't from a direct cut, or broken bone, but maybe inflammatory in nature. So what he's found is that we literally, our body produces areas of pain, and those areas do often get actually become inflammatory or become yeah, inflamed, because we are not doing anything about these traumatic things that are lodged in our memory and therefore in our body, and stress and all these impacts that are mental, emotional, and can become physical. So in order to reverse that mental, emotional, physical, or we work with eliminating trauma, but I don't promote eliminating trauma. I promote using your traumatic experiences as your tools toward your better life. So turning them into strength, because they are experiences that you survived, that you learned from, that you don't want to repeat in your own life. Like if you had experienced abuse, you don't want to be an abuser. And therefore, I came up with this phrase, turn your traumas into tools. So it's a very empowering approach. It's not like, oh my God, you poor thing, you'd been damaged so much. No, yes, you had terrible experiences, but they can be your strength that you experience because you're here. You lived those experiences and you now know that those can help you, empower you to not fall into those traps on either side of that spectrum, either inflicting trauma or allowing more trauma to be done to you, if you will. All right, so let me show you what the simple fitness program can look like. And I'm just going to do a quick 10-minute 10-minute anywhere workout, or fitness over 50. At one point, I called it the anywhere workout because you can do it anywhere where you have a little bit of space and a chair and maybe some weights or water bottles. All right, so that's what I'm going to do with you right now. And try to join me. You don't need any special clothes, really. I'm taking off my sweater because I always get so hot. Um, so, and some more water. And of course, everybody has to find their own routine, but it is hard for us unless we have somebody showing us the way, right? Okay, let's do this. And of course, we have to change the camera a little bit. And I'm undressing here in front of you. So, but it's also to show off, this is a 70-year-old body, right? And a 70-year-old body that is quite fit and capable and in shape, right? And that in spite of the fact that I wasn't born with a silver spoon and I wasn't born with a good body. I have a little hole in my heart and all kinds of things. We all have something, right? But we can turn our traumas into tools and also turn our weaknesses into as if it were normal, right? Okay, so I always start with a little stretch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and swing. 2, 3, all the knees are flexible. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I do a little ritual. I love you, my planet. I love you, my sunshine. I love you, humanity. And I love you, my body. And I do make my clients do this exercise. I'm tilting this a little bit more so that you can see my arms. All right. And then we do a simple thing like a twist. And I'm just showing you a few twists, but we normally go up to 100. 6, 7, 8. Okay, I'm just doing one more round. And you look as far as you can and you follow your eyes. And then at the end of the 100, we do a slow twist. And we look all the way. And we go to the other side, of course. And there it is. And then we start with back strengthening exercises are incredibly important as we age, right? Back and knee and butt and all of those things. So after just doing a couple of flexible things, we just bounce the flat back and keep the knees soft and bounce. And I'm doing it sideways so that you can really see that my back is straight. And you can start up here if that's all you can do, or you can go all the way down and really bounce that body and then make it harder and make it even harder. And I count and then I turn a little to the side. Variety allows you to go longer, and the other side and the center again. And this is the hardest when you put your arms forward. And we roll back up. And we reach. Whew. Whew. Okay, and then that can be followed by even more back and butt work. Back and butts. Backs and butts. Of course, in between, you always have to make an effort to stand super straight. Shoulders are back and your hips are turned in and your chin is up. Okay. Next, we can do half squats, I call them. And again, they can be tiny little like this, or they can be big into beyond the 90-degree angle. Okay, we can do 25 of those approximately. Again, a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. And next, so if you want to do these exercises with me, let me know and I'll get you the, I'm actually currently, oh, that's what this is. My bad. That should be not in my corner like that. Okay, next, you take your chair. It should be a sturdy chair, but kind of pretty much any chair works. And you sit at the very, very edge of it, and you tilt up, bring your knees up, and now you kick your feet out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Kick your heels out. 2, 3, 4. And the flatter you are, the harder it is. So up here, it's easier. And again, on a count, and then we tilt onto one butt side, and then we tilt on the other butt side, and we keep kicking. Then we walk around our chair, because a little bit of easing is always good in between. And then we do kind of the same thing, but with both legs together. So it's a little harder. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Kick your heels. 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And then on your butt side here, on your other butt side there. And then center again. And stretch. And stretch on your chair. Move that shoulder back. And the other way around. And then we have one more on the chair exercise. Actually, and I'm going to do the airplane too. And we have the belly crunches. Now, these are hard. It looks so easy, but they're hard. Okay, and it's just your torso up and down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, we tilt and we tilt and we go on for quite a while with these belly crunches. Now, again, as we age, we want to especially train the muscles in our midsection, because not just for the looks of it, so we don't have all these tires, but because as we age, our body tends to fall forward, right? So this is how we should be. And then we sort of end up here and we're always like slumped a little. And what does that do to your organs? It suppresses your organs. It crunches your organs, and not in a good way. It actually hurts your liver, your stomach, your spleen, your well, the kidneys are in the back, but they're actually not all the way in the back. They go through to the front as well. So, and your lungs, all of which get kind of crunched, right? If you are not upright, and you tend to be less upright, the less muscle tissue you have in your entire midsection. And of course, that's also the spine, the 2 muscle strands here next to the spine that need to be strong for your body to want to stay upright and to be able to stay upright, right? To not fall forward and so stay here. And the other thing is in standing, again, that the hips are turned in, not here, but in, and therefore automatically your glutes get tightened a little, and it helps you to keep that chest up. You know, when we go like this, I don't know. So everything needs to align, make a reasonably straight line in your bones. You know, if you have a nice butt size and a nice chest size, that's fine. But you don't want your spine to be like this. You want it to be as straight as possible. All right, so I'm going to show you a little bit what I do with my little weights. And again, when I'm in a hotel, I will just get 2 water bottles and hold those 2 water bottles in my hands. That works just as well. They may not be as heavy. These are 8-pounders, but it still works. All right, we stand with our knees slightly bent so that there's flexibility. Again, hips turned in, and we go back in front. That's how I start. 5, 6, 7, 8. And now instead of 8, I'm going to do just 4 of each of the routines. Then I'm going to the side. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going up to the ceiling. And so there's a lot more to this whole routine. I'm not going to go through it all, but you see what I'm doing. So these are all individually easy things, but because I'm doing the entire routine so that all parts of the body are challenged, and of course the arms here in particular. And all right, like I said, I'm not doing the entire routine. Then I end again back in front. And that's that. Then another very important part is, I can't do the butt exercises right now because the visuals are not right. But I will do a couple of big squats, and because many of us at my age, at my 70, I am so proud to be 70. You have no idea. I feel good about being 70. So this is not a downside to me at all. Okay. I swing my arms and then I go down into the squat, and then I push between my legs. I push back up a little bit. Now, if you can, just keep your hands forward and come back up, even better. I can't. I don't know why. I've tried for years. I can't get that done. Maybe you know a trick that you can tell me. It may have to do with my balance and like shifting the weight forward enough to get back up. But yeah, so I'll show you. 1, 2, and down. Keeping the hands in the air, right? And this is quite a comfortable position for me. As it should be. This is how all indigenous people, I mean, most that I've come across, sit. And then to get up, I push a little between my legs and come back up. Now, again, if you could keep your hands straight, and then I do several of those in a row. And that strengthens knees, butt, thighs, everything. And it's a strength exercise. I do a couple more strength exercises. Also, standing still, like I call it the balance. And I do need the chair for that. And that goes like this, arm up, making a straight line with the leg, kind of. And then tilting, 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 tilting until you are in the horizontal. The arm does not look quite horizontal, but it feels like it. And staying in this position while pulling all the muscles of both legs constantly toward your center. Just keep pulling, 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 and holding it as long as you can. Eventually you'll start trembling, and you can hold longer, believe it or not, if you make loud sounds like so I can stand for quite a few minutes now in that position. Of course, now I have to do it for the other leg as well. Fairness, right? Both sides need to get a chance. And yeah, those strength exercises work wonders. I learned them from my African personal trainer that I had for a while. And there's a whole range of them as well that I'll share in my app. That's not quite, the fitness program is not quite finished, but the food program is already finished. I'll tell you in a minute. Okay, and other side, tilt, 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 tilt. Keep all muscles pulled toward the center. Keep pulling, pulling, pulling. Sometimes the sound cuts out when I make loud sounds. I'm trying. Try to not lean on the chair as much as just keeping it for balance. I'm leaning quite a bit now, so it's not quite fair. But I'm also talking. Okay. Shake it out, shake it out. And so I just wanted to give you this example of how you can do a workout even if you don't have time or desire to go to a regular gym. Right now I have to adjust the camera again. And I will put my sweater back on. It is important that after a good workout, of course, this wasn't a real workout, but I just wanted to show you. After a good workout, keep your muscles warm. Unless, of course, you're doing an ice bath, which is a different kind of heat-producing event. Then you're kicking the body into defense mode. I love cold showers. I have cold showers every morning now, and I recommend it to all my clients. And I do the Wim Hof breathing exercises. So ask me about all of that and how it all works together in the Evolve system and to create a super happy body. Everybody can do it. Literally, everybody can do it. You just saw that these exercises have easy versions that literally everybody can do. There is no way that somebody, unless of course you're a paraplegic, everybody can participate insofar as they are able to move. All right. Woo! I know. I just decided just before I went on that I'm going to do this little what do you call that? Little unusual thing by doing actually some exercise to show you that, of course, creating a body that works does involve physical exercise as well. I also go walking and running up the hill and doing pull-ups on the, I can't do full pull-ups. Again, you do as much as you can, but it really works on those biceps. And we can each find our favorite exercise program. One of my clients doesn't want to do any other exercise other than just walking, so she walks and makes phone calls while she walks, and that's fine, but do it regularly enough so that it works. And of course, walking is a beautiful thing, but it still doesn't train your upper body, and you do need upper body training as you age because of what I just explained to you, right? Upper body and midsection, both of which are not involved in walking unless you walk on all fours. Well, sometimes. All right, so now I'm hungry, and now I'm going to eat upside down my mousse before my. The great thing about this kind of food is that it immediately, if you have any kind of muscle strain or stress, the cacao and the essential fatty acids in here immediately tame down any kind of soreness. It is phenomenal. And not just for me, I've done it with many people. Now, some people say they can't get to sleep after even raw cacao. I don't have that experience, but you need to figure out whether you can do it or not. But the magnesium in raw cacao seems to have a special entryway, a special invitation into the bloodstream. It immediately gives you that. Well, it also produces endorphins, of course, so it's also that brain connection, but gives you that relaxation of the muscles. All right. Oops, time is up again. This is what happens. So I wanted to round out this particular podcast with the note that when you create a happy body, a super happy body, and you're doing it right with the right nutrients, etc., because that's really the best way or the only way when it comes down to it to create a super happy body, you automatically also help the planet. Now, I can do a whole other podcast about that, how we treat our own body automatically translates to treating the planet differently and allowing it to heal from the incredible pollution, et cetera, et cetera. Why that is so significant, again, I have explored in many shows of mine in the Happy Body, Happy Planet podcast programs that were summits, really, sort of where I'm interviewing a whole variety of incredible minds and doctors to support that understanding of creating a happy body means creating a happy planet. Creating a happier planet entices you to create a happier body. It's all the same because it's the same biology on planet Earth. So come join me to create your super happy body. I'm excited for you if that's what you want. It is totally doable. It is totally delicious. It does not have to be feeling like you're depriving yourself at all. And it's fun. And after every little workout, even these 10 minutes that I just did, you feel so happy in your super happy body. All right, guys, that's it for this podcast. I'm yours truly, Professor Johanna Sophia, and I love connecting with you. Feel free to ask in the comments or connect via johannasrawfoods.com. It's a good way to connect with me. on the contact page there, and we will respond. All right? Create your super happy body. It is the only way to live on this planet. Really, it's the best way to live on this planet without aches and pains and sorrow. All right. Of course, we still experience things that are not pleasant. That's a given. But we can make our body super happy. Ciao.